let's get into the rivalry game. It's always going to be a rivalry. It's the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are a 5-point favorite at home. Greg, I have to think that has a lot to do with the fact that the Bengals, who lose in week 1, traditionally
the Patriots
under Zach Taylor, lost to your Patriots. Should they be concerned, Greg, going up against a team that is giving them so much trouble and a quarterback and a wide receiver who've done the same?
Yeah, I mean, look, they called it Burrowhead for a little bit. They don't call it now. Maybe this is what Joe Burrow needs. I spoke about it with Jordan Rodriguez and Colleen. Like, maybe he needs a big game to make him feel alive, to get him out of these early season doldrums he's always in. You know, they showed him kind of flexing the wrist. That is worrisome. I don't know if that's affecting his play. It's too hard to guess. But the reason why I'm concerned is actually not the Bengals offense, which even if T. Higgins doesn't come back, that's uncertain. I have too much faith in Burrow that they get it going. It's the matchup on the other side of the ball. The guys were so open last week for the Chiefs. They have extra rest coming into this game. They have all this Rashee Rice on these free releases, and now he's running slants. They're expanding kind of what he does. They're an empty. They were really dictating against a really good Ravens defense the matchups that they wanted. And I was thinking, like, how is Patrick Mahomes like better when he's not as flashy? And to me, maybe it's because of just the pocket movement. He's always been good, but now it's like you mentioned before how Richardson disregards the first guy. Mahomes is like that with every guy, except he's still throwing in the pocket, and it's just incredible. And he'll need that because he's going up against Trey Hendrickson in this group.
Yeah, I was at that opener, and it was such an exhibition of great coaching by Andy Reid. He saw that the Ravens were leaving open the middle of the field. He was matching up linebackers on his wide receivers. I mean, you saw Roquan Smith chasing Rashee Rice. I mean, they did some incredible things. I don't think Lou Anarumo is going to put his linebackers, asking them to do as much. But again, they were really put in tremendous conflict by Andy Reid. I'm going to flip it back, though. I mean, I know Joe Burrow used to be Burrowhead, but this Chiefs defense is a different monster the last 2 years. And what you saw, that opener, it came down to Lamar Jackson just being Superman against a defense that had everything else blocked up. Until, and Patrick, we were talking about it, the back half of the fourth quarter, when the Ravens went up-tempo and they went no huddle, that's when they started moving the ball on the Chiefs. That's when things started being on schedule. Maybe we'll see some of that early on in the game for Cincinnati to try to prevent some of the substitutions for the Chiefs and to allow them to get into a type of a rhythm, because that's one thing that Chiefs defense in the opener did not let the Ravens do until, again, the back half of the fourth quarter.
And Lamar gets time. He's able to get those balls to Isaiah Likely because they're staying on the field. They're in the hurry up. Lamar has been running all game.
Yes.
Chris Jones was wiped out.
Yes, it was a week 1. It made sense.
He was absolutely zeroed out, and that provided the assistance. The Bengals aren't going to have Joe Burrow running like that. I don't think it's smart for Joe to be aggressive like that. He can be, but it's really just can they rely on Joe and Jamar to make those types of plays? Was that all Christian Gonzalez? Was that a little bit of hangover from offseason stuff with Jamar Chase? They have to be explosive against KC, and they just could do nothing, right? And again, if Tanner Hudson doesn't get the ball knocked away from Kyle Duggar, right? If there's no fumble, right? We might be looking at this game a whole lot differently. But man,
it's a big spot. It's a big spot.
That 5's a big number too, though.
Well, it was 6.
Game.
So the public agrees with you, and it brought it back. It's a big game, though. I know they've done it before and they've rallied, but it's just tough starting your season 0-2. So it's a big game for them. It's also a big game for Tony Romo. I mentioned how I thought he was kind of ducking the competition last week with Tom Brady. He was on a 405 game, and so this is back at his big spot, Patrick, with the world watching the 425. This is the big game. This is his game, really. He's probably called it many times before. He needs to have a big year.
And I think the winner here is the people, right?
Yes.
Because Tony came out, he was explosive, he was prepared, he was excited, and maybe we lost a little bit of that. And so now that Tom is dominating the discussion, whether, again, Tom's calling his first game, like, chill a little bit, and people were thinking Scott Hansen was being critical of Tom. Like, no, Scott was just excited, like I was, to see a 71-yard field goal, and he wanted Tom to be as excited as everyone else was. They wasn't saying Tom's bad. I think Tom being in the broadcast booth in general, I don't know if Tony's ducking folks.
Okay.
But I do know that it helps with the idea that, like, hey, people want to hear Tom Brady, and Tony Romo's going to come out and say, this is why I'm here.
This is my house.
This is
I
who I
like
am.
this. He's gonna up his game.
I mean, he's heard the criticism out there. Hopefully, the Bengals' run defense has too. That's been the big concern in Cincinnati this week. That they were a bad run defense last year. Then you lose DJ Reader, and they got steamrolled last week. So they will be challenged by the Chiefs and their big front and Isaiah Pacheco.